All right, welcome back. We are continuing our series of videos that describe and detail the RPO sequences that have been added to Astrogator. And so we're going to talk now about the Forced Motion Waypoint sequence. And so if you look here in my MCS, I already have one of these guys in place. In fact, so we have our typical setup for just the default RPO satellite that gets loaded in with all the sequences. And we've added a Forced Motion Waypoint sequence after that. And just to, let's go ahead and take a look where that comes from. So if you look at the Forced Motion folder, it's the second one there, Forced Motion Waypoints. And the idea is the Forced Motion Waypoint sequence moves us from a current position to a desired final relative position. And you can control several things with this. One is the time it takes to make that move, and then the amount of space, or the equal spacing for the hops to get to the desired relative position in the end. And the choice then of whether to stop all relative motion at the final position or not to. And so we're going to look at an example then that our initial state, we look at that guy, and we start out at negative 1,000 meters or kilometer along the V-bar. So we're negative 1,000 meters, so we're behind our target satellite. And then we coast for a bit, and then we're going to do our forced motion waypoints. And we're going to end up at plus 500 meters along the R-bar. So that's the goal. We're going to do that in 2 hours. And then our max separation between our waypoints is going to be 5 degrees between the various maneuvers. So we're going to force this to happen by making maneuvers. And so let's go ahead and run that. And that's all done. So let's do this. Close all of our targeting windows. Get them out of the way there. In theory, thinking about it, we just can move them. All right, so let's go ahead and set our animation time to the beginning of our forced motion waypoints, and then we can zoom to, looks like we're already there, but let's go ahead and make sure we are. So there we are for our RPO satellite, and we see that we are starting behind the target satellite, 1,000 meters along the V-bar, and we want to finish up at 500 meters on the R-bar from the target satellite. And let's go ahead and turn up our animation time here a bit and give that a play. That's pretty fast. All right, so you can see, if you look closely, that, let's go ahead and go back there, reset that animation time. It wasn't fast enough. And zoom in here. You can kind of see the little hops that we do. And you kind of see our little, there's a hop, there's a hop, there's a hop, as we're forcing in a near straight line from where we were to where we want to be. And so that's our forced motion waypoint sequence. And it lets us get from here to there. In this particular case, as I described, this ended up in 8 total maneuvers, and it was about 0.477 meters per second in delta V. So thanks for listening.